Hey, Robyn, how are you? Welcome to
Well,
the show. Thanks for being
I'm
here.
very excited to be here. I almost just ruined the beginning of the
No,
podcast
you
by
did
cutting
not.
you off. I was so excited to say something. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so thrilled to be sharing my story today.
Well, thank you for coming on. And I know this is like this could be kind of vulnerable. So I really just, from the bottom of my heart, I always want to show my gratitude when somebody comes on and shares their story because you don't know who you're going to inspire today, tomorrow, the next day. So thank you. Um, the first question I always love leading with is how and when did you first discover clean intermittent fasting?
Well, that is a great question because clean is the operative word there, right?
It is.
Yeah. So I just found myself, I'm one of those people that when I am stressed, I am a not eater. So
Me
I
too.
was going through sort of a little stressful time in my life, and I found myself not eating as much as I normally did. And I was losing some weight, and I was like,
Mhm,
wow, what's going on?
mhm,
And I was talking with a friend, and she said, well, it sounds like you're naturally fasting.
mm,
And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And so she told me about Jin's book, and then I found your Facebook group, and I was like, oh, I'm basically doing all the things
mhm,
here, but I was still drinking like flavored sparkling water during the
mhm,
day sometimes.
mhm.
I was losing weight. But
Mhm.
then when I found clean fasting, I just felt a lot better. I felt like I actually wasn't hungry, and I was surprisingly still losing weight, and really grateful that I felt really good about something that I found finally
Right.
to help me maintain a healthy weight and, to be a more of a healthy living person instead of just jumping from fad diet to fad diet.
Yeah, and that's basically what you do until you find this, and then you're like, "Oh, freedom. Hello. How are you? Like, nice to meet you." So,
Absolutely.
so like, what would you say your biggest goal besides weight loss was when it came to fasting? Just overall health, or was there something specific that was like burdening you?
Well, I mean, I'm a mom of teenage boys, and so you can really get in a rut of being tired and just grabbing whatever.
Mhm,
And I really just, what I wanted to do was find something that was sustainable. I had
mhm,
done so many things, and I was so overwhelmed with thinking about food all of the time. So I think my main goal was not only weight loss, but just to have a healthier relationship with the world around us, because there are addicts for things like drugs and alcohol, and you can avoid those things, but you cannot avoid food. We
no.
need food to live. So I just feel like when I found fasting, I was like shocked at that this could be a sustainable thing that I could do forever and ever and ever, and never feel like I was jailed to some sort of program, or that I always had to be thinking about food and writing down and measuring and weighing, because
Yeah.
that can really take a lot on you, mentally. It's a lot to
It's
take on.
so taxing. It's so
Yeah.
taxing to have to keep track of every single thing you're doing. I used to use my Fitness Pal way
Me
back in the
too.
day,
Yeah.
and I would restrict calories and overexercise. So that leads me to my next. Always, I love asking this question. What are some of the fad diets that you've tried? Anything that's been kind of crazy? Because I could name a few in the past. I know we're probably near the same age, so I'm sure we've seen some of the same crazy diets come through,
Yeah.
over the years.
I mean, it's funny. I was an overweight kid. I mean, I was a
Yeah.
super fat kid, and I remember doing things like the cabbage soup
Cabbage
diet.
soup, totally. Yes.
Hello, diarrhea. Like,
Oh my God, it was so
yeah,
bad.
not a good, healthy choice, right? I mean, and like, not so much a fad, but I was a lifetime member at Weight Watchers,
Hmm, hmm.
but counting and showing up and always having to go to meetings and always be thinking about how many points do I have, and
Hmm.
like you said, unhealthily over exercising, like, oh, I'm gonna run for an hour because I want to eat a piece of pizza. Like, that's nuts. So like, that is just not healthy. It's not a great sustainable way
No.
to maintain a healthy weight. So I would say I tried a lot. Certain like pills that are supposed to decrease your appetite or whatever. And none of that shit works, I mean,
None of it does.
just really you need to find something that works for you. And I have found that clean fasting is the way to go for me. I have never felt such food freedom, and I'm thrilled.
I love hearing this
Yeah.
stuff, like food freedom, like that's my motto. Um, I did cabbage soup diet, totally been there. I'm trying to think of some other crazy things I've done. Definitely counting calories, lived in the gym. Thought I
Hmm.
thought I was a marathon runner, all these things.
I have run a marathon actually.
I have not. I wanted to.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be one of those marathon runners. It didn't work out that way at
Slow and
all.
steady, slow and steady. If we lived near each other, we could totally run together.
We
You
could
could walk
try.
alongside me. I'm so slow.
I'm just gonna
Uh,
walk really, really fast.
yeah,
Like that's all I can
absolutely.
try. And down here in Florida, the heat just buries on you. So,
Oh,
how much weight have you lost in total with fasting? Like, would
well,
you say at this
it's
point?
it's funny. I'm actually I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually a stand-up comic too.
Yes, I
And
do.
I
I know
tell a
that.
joke. I have a joke that I say, "Oh my gosh, you guys, I lost 300 pounds." And everyone cheers. And I say, "Well, it was the same 30 pounds like 10 times. Does that still count?"
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and it always, because it's relatable, it always gets laughs,
Yes,
it's very relatable. So with fasting, I lost 25 pounds, and I
that's
still,
amazing.
in my head, I feel like I still wanted to lose a little bit more. And I don't know, I don't know about you, but I live on vacation. And
Hmm.
when I'm vacationing, I kind of open my window a little bit more than I probably should for weight loss. So
Sure.
over the last I think I've been fasting for maybe 18 months or so.
Mhm.
And over the last few months, I have gained a little bit. But I know that if I go back and I tighten up my window, which I already did the last couple of days here since I've been back,
Yeah.
I went to Europe. Of course, all the bread and Nutella went into my
Uh,
mouth.
Worth it.
And all the times, that's the problem, is that you
Yeah.
can eat bread and Nutella, but just make sure it's in your window, Robyn. Like, don't extend the window. But so
Yeah.
25 pounds I lost. I felt really great last summer. This summer, kind of let things slide a little bit. But that's the beauty of this, is that I don't feel like I have sabotaged myself, or
Right.
that I'm, not able to sort of recharge myself and restart and close up my windows a tiny bit. um, the problem with dieting is that if I felt, oh, I gained a few pounds, I have to deprive myself of all of these things that I love. And with fasting, I find that I can still enjoy dessert and not worry about that I am going to still continue to gain.
Right.
I can tighten up my window and still lose. So it's a win-win. I'm really very happy about it.
I'm super happy that you found clean fasting, and every single time somebody finds it, I just feel like a little from that movie, like a little bell rings, when an angel gets its wings. That's
Absolutely.
kind of like how I feel when
Yeah.
somebody finds this magic, and it is so sustainable. So you have two teenage boys. I'm scared to ask you what that's like because mine are much younger. So
Yeah.
what is that like with your fasting lifestyle? Like, how do you get through a day? Are they into sports? Your days must be insane.
Yeah. So, well, summer is really weird because I did send them to camp once for like 12 days, which was, wow, how much time do you have then? Right.
Right.
But, with them, it's great. And it's funny because they'll even say, Mom, is your window open? Like,
Oh yeah.
can you partake in this delicious food? And I mean, that's the beauty of it, is that you just delay it, you don't deny it. So I will buy them donuts in the morning. And if there are donuts left when my window is open, so help me God, I am eating a donut. And
100%.
when's the last time you ate a donut guilt free? Like, this is so incredible. This is mind blowing that I could eat a donut and still feel good about myself, because you can really put labels on foods that things are good or things are bad. And that is not a healthy way to live.
Yeah.
Food is food. And if a food makes you feel bad, then of course you want to stay away from it. And you will
Sure.
find with clean fasting that your body will tell you if something
Oh
is good
yeah.
or bad for you. So
Oh my gosh, I say that all the time. Like, totally. With clean fasting, like, you eat something bad, you drink something bad, your body's going to tell you right away.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
I
for
have
you?
found
Is
that.
it not?
Yes, hard liquor, not for me
Oh,
anymore. I have found it just really destroys my stomach. So
there's been
it's
so
good.
many lessons with alcohol. So I want to chat a little bit about alcohol because I know you did like a 30-day detox from alcohol. Is that right?
I
Recently?
did. Yes,
Yeah.
I have jokes about that too.
I'm sure you do.
Uh,
How did that go?
well, it was an interesting test.
Yeah.
I did feel really great, but I feel like the greatness I felt didn't outweigh the fact that I do enjoy an occasional glass of wine. But I have to say, I have cut back a lot, and I did notice right away that certain things made me feel kind of bad. So I now have in my do not drink list of red wine. So red wine gives
Yeah.
me kind of a crappy feeling the next day. So I'm just
Right.
kind of sticking to an occasional, white wine,
Mhm.
beer, and a cocktail every once in a while. But yeah, I did a 30-day. It was a little over 30 days because I started May 28th and then ended July 1st. But 30-day, no liquor, no booze. And I was pretty
Yeah.
impressed with myself. I found some really fun non-alcoholic options. There's a company called Groovy, I
Yeah, there's
believe
a
it is.
few out there. I think
Yeah, that I
Katy
really
Perry might
enjoyed theirs.
have something, but
Oh,
not
cool.
drinking is becoming kind of a trend now, which
It
is
is a
great.
trend, yeah, especially
Um,
with CBD and all of them. I'm not a partaker, but that's like legal here in Michigan where I
yeah,
live.
it's
So
legal here too.
there's a lot of that going
Yeah.
on. But yeah, so, and I did feel pretty good. When you're not having those extra calories too, you do drop a few pounds. So before I went on my trip, I did lose, I think, 4 pounds during that month where I wasn't drinking, but I did fill in some of the extra calories with cheesecakes and the like. So,
Well,
um,
I mean, I think that's a fair trade. Like, and
absolutely, I love cheesecake. It's my favorite.
like European treats are just my favorite. And I'm like watching your trip to Europe on Facebook and stuff. I was just like, oh, like, because I haven't been to that part of Europe yet, and it's kind of like on our bucket list of places to go. So it was really inspiring, and I hope to get there one day. But it looked amazing, and I'm
Love it.
glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
One thing I like to ask and talk about a bit is exercise. Did you find yourself on your weight loss journey having to exercise more, less, or about the same as you were before?
It's really interesting. I have, like you said, been a gym rat, spending all the time there.
Mhm,
I am a long distance runner.
mhm,
I was actually training for a full marathon before I got COVID in
mhm,
March of 2019.
mhm,
And since then, I wasn't really able to run or
mhm,
work out as hard as I could.
mhm.
One, because I was sick really for a month in bed. I was very sick.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I lost a lot of my stamina and I had to rebuild that. Um, but with past diets, I felt like I always did need to work out and,
Mhm,
and burn at least 500 calories plus
mhm.
eat a limited amount of foods with a
Right.
small amount of calories to lose weight. But with fasting, I find that really all I need is just to keep moving a little bit each day. And that includes a daily walk. Or I also love, this is going to sound crazy, but I use a VR headset. It's actually,
Oh, that's so
you can see
awesome.
your viewers can't see, but there's this app called Supernatural, and it is super fun. You actually whack these balloons that are coming at you. It's all virtual, and there's a Facebook community too. It's a lot of fun, but I do that and I walk, and I have found that, like, I'm like, where did these abs come from? So, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
They've been hiding under the flabs all these years. So
it's
there they
crazy,
are.
right?
But yeah, it is really it's interesting because your body is using your fat for fuel. And so the muscle that you do have under there is starting to shine through. And then also, just your simple everyday activities like cleaning the house or picking up the dog or, whatever you're
Right.
doing during the day. I find that that helps build muscle. It's interesting.
It is. It really is because like you're getting I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm the same way, like with the walking and the just daily activities. I stretch a lot because my back is a mess, but I find walking is just so beneficial. And as long as you said, like you were saying, keep moving. Like
Mhm.
as long as
Every
you're
day.
moving, you're moving along, you're not being stagnant. But the great thing about fasting is that like if you have an injury, if you are held up, I mean, you don't have to really worry too much about your weight fluctuating. It's going to go back to where it was once you get back to your normal routine.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that, there are a lot of people that are severely obese that can't move really,
Yeah.
So that's why fasting is such a great option, because you can use your body's fat to fuel your body. And then as you're losing think about it, like carrying
Yes.
around 2 20-pound weights while you're walking, like that's 40 pounds. And that is like a lot of extra effort you have to make. So even just little walks,
Yeah.
when you're first starting, I think would be really beneficial to anyone out there listening.
Yeah.
And then now I'm up to, usually I'll walk for 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day. I'll listen to a podcast. It's
Yeah.
really inspirational. I'll do some work, while I'm walking, as long as I'm in the
Yeah.
sidewalk, not running into anyone in the street. But yeah, I really do like walking for exercise. It really, and I do still try to run. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe next year I'll be running a marathon again. We'll see.
Well, I hope you are. I hope you're very,
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do,
I
Um,
know, right?
I always say like I'm not going to run unless there's like a clown chasing me and like a margarita at the end.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
just
there's an ice cream truck, right? Chasing the ice cream truck.
I tried. It wasn't good, and we're just going to keep walking now.
Yeah. The beauty of life is you can find what works for you, right?
Exactly.
And just as long as you're enjoying it. That's the thing, is that, do you really enjoy being in the gym for 2 hours a day? No. You may as well find something that works for you, and that's what fasting is all about.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
amazing.
and like 2 hours in the gym when you're in your 20s it means something totally different than when you're in your 40s and have kids and like a ton of stuff going on. So,
Yeah.
it's just it's a different time of life. But I always say I wish I knew about fasting in my 20s because it would have saved me a lot of time and money.
I know. And all those hours I spent at Weight Watchers, right? I was
I
there all the time.
mean, yeah, like I've done it all. I would have saved so much time, money, effort. So now that you're back from your European vacation and you're back to your normal protocol, what does your fasting schedule look like from a day-to-day
Oh,
basis?
well, generally, I try to open my window after 4 p.m.
Okay.
And it opens with whatever I want. I hear people, oh, I open it with fruit and nuts. And of course, I try to do that. But I usually open it with whatever I want. It has to have some protein in it, though. I have
Yeah.
to have, like, if I'm going to open my window with a donut, I'm going to feel really shitty. Like, it's not going to be a good day. So
Right.
if I open my window with a donut, it is going to include a handful of cashews or a glass of like milk or something. Milk is
Something.
gross, but whatever. So like it has to have some protein in it or I will feel bad. And then, I make dinner or we're going out and I'll eat a regular dinner with dessert and, sometimes, like I said, a glass
Yeah.
or two of wine. And then it's closed, and it really needs to be closed by 9 o'clock for me
Okay.
to at least maintain.
Yeah.
And really, if I want to lose, it has to be, the window can't be open for more than 3 or 4 hours if I want to
Right.
be on a losing
Okay.
track.
That's always like my main thing is how long do I keep my window open today? Like what
Yeah.
are my goals for the week? So 3 to 4 hours for your losing. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty consistent across the board, a 3 to 4 hour window. I mean, when you get to maintenance, it's a different animal. And I would definitely say to reread the chapter on maintenance because I did not. And I ended up gaining like almost 10 pounds, I think, when I reached maintenance. I had no idea what I was doing.
But you were enjoying yourself. So I'm
I
sure it was.
think I was, but maybe just a little bit too much. I'm not really sure.
It's the
Um,
payoff, the payoff. But yeah, and like you said, maintaining is going to be different for everyone.
yeah,
Maybe some people can only maintain with a 4 hour window and they can only lose with a 1 hour window.
yeah,
So everyone's different and everyone has really screwed up their metabolisms probably with years of doing things wrong to ourselves. So yeah, I mean, that takes some time, that takes some healing.
It's a lot of healing, and that's what I really love to get across is the healing part of this lifestyle, which brings me to non-scale victories. We talk about this a lot in the group, because it's just so important, aside from weight loss, to talk about these non-scale victories or victories off the scale. How soon did you experience your first non-scale victory, and what was it? What one sticks out to you the most as being the most significant for you?
You know, I have to be honest, it's just wearing whatever I want and like feeling good in it. Like,
That's
are you kidding me?
awesome.
Like going for a run in a sports bra and tights, leggings, like
Yeah.
I always was like, where's a t-shirt I can wear, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, wearing a bathing suit and not worrying about like, what does this look like? You know, I mean, it's just insane to me that like I read a statistic that 90% of women feel uncomfortable in their bodies.
Oh my
That's a lot.
gosh.
That is a lot of people, right? That is a lot
That's
of
so
people.
many.
And now, and I could totally, that could totally be wrong, that number, but I just read it recently in a magazine and it could have been 70, but it was something high. It was more than 50 for sure. And, I'm not one of those women now. I feel great. It's it's just something that I've thought about since I was little. I mean, because I was an obese child. I was super big as a kid. And I remember like thinking I was so cute just because I'm a strangely confident human, but also thinking, oh God, I could probably do something about this belly fat, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my whole life, you know, I'm almost 50. I'm like going to be 49 this month. So it's kind of crazy, right? That I've done that for a long time. And so I would say my biggest non-scale victory is just feeling more comfortable in the body that I'm
That
in.
is so huge. That's like so significant. The
Mhm.
confidence thing, like, and having come from like childhood obesity, and just, you don't look 49 or 48 even. Like, you look like you're like 35, dude.
Well, I'll
Like,
take it.
seriously. Seriously.
Now you really are my best friend.
Honestly, like, I am like sitting here with no makeup on. I have like my roots that have not been
Oh,
done. Like,
oh, me
I'm
too.
a
Me too.
hot mess here.
Ready?
Like,
There you go.
yeah, summer. It's just like a lot of chlorine and just sun and everything.
The black hairspray in my roots is my friend.
Actually, I have to go pick up some some root hairspray.
Yeah, I love it. I
That
love it.
stuff is
It's my favorite.
awesome. It is the best. So I always like to end with my little tip jar that I like to keep. If you met somebody and they were interested in starting this lifestyle, what is your number one tip for them? It could be one to three if you just have like one big one, but I just like to hear everyone's tips.
Well, of course, the first tip is to read the books, right? Read Jen's books. They're fabulous. Join a community like yours. Your Facebook community is wonderful. You need support, right?
Yes, so much support.
Especially because your friends and family are going to think you are absolutely nuts. They're going to say you're starving yourself, you know, so you need a community that's going to keep you on track. And keep in mind, when people say things to you, it has more to do with them than it ever has to do with you. So just stay in your lane, find your people, do your thing, and find your success, you know?
Love it.
And then the last tip is to make sure that you know that beating yourself up is not going to get you anywhere.
No.
If you have a week or a vacation or a month, even that you're not doing your best with fasting, know that it's always there for you. You
Mhm.
can just jump back in and you can start shedding off those pounds and feeling great in a matter of
Yeah.
days.
It's amazing. Like, it's complete and total freedom. And yeah, community, I feel, is very important, like you said. And I'm just so happy that you're a part of ours, because you continue to just inspire and motivate us all the time. So thank you so much for that.
I love
And
that.
I I just wanted to say thank you for introducing me to the Zia brand.
Oh yes,
Am I
Zaya like papaya,
Sorry.
yes.
Okay,
Oh,
because I'm
everyone
saying
says
I'm
it wrong.
probably like saying that wrong, Zaya.
You're
Because
you're in a
just, like,
great community of people. Everyone says it wrong. So
I'm
Zaya like papaya.
loving, especially this one. Look, I'm wearing it right
Yes,
now.
I know. Me
I'll
too.
be
Always.
going swimming later with my boys. So thank you for introducing me to that. And thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited you're here and I cannot wait to share your episode.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear it myself. And when I'm in Florida, we have to hook up. Maybe I'll make you go for a run.
Yes, please definitely call me. And I would love, if you're ever in Florida on your comedy tour, please let me know.
Absolutely.
Because I will
I love it.
come. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much, Robyn. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here.